Now Sigurðr and Regan rode up to the moors, to the track along which Fáfnir used to crawl when he went to drink, and the crag he lay on to get at the water when he drank was said to be 30 fathoms high. "You told me, Regan," said Sigurðr then, "that this monster was no bigger than any serpent, but this track looks very big to me." "Dig a pit," said Regan, "and sit in, and when the dragon comes crawling to the water, stab him to the heart and so destroy him. Then you'll win great distinction." "What if I get in the way of the dragon's blood?" said Sigurðr. "It's not possible to advise you," replies Regan. "If you're scared of everything, you've nothing like the courage of your kinsman." So Sigurðr rode up to the moors, and Regan went off in great fright. Sigurðr dug a pit, and while he was about this, an old man with a long beard came up to him and asked what he was doing there. Sigurðr told him. "That's ill-advised," the old man then replied. "Dig other pits and let the blood run into them. You are to sit in one and stab the dragon to the heart." Then the old man vanished, and Sigurðr dug the pits as he has been told. And when the dragon crawled to the water, the earth tremors were so violent that all the land around shook. He breathed out poison all over the path ahead, but Sigurðr was neither frightened nor dismayed by the noise. And when the dragon crawled across the pit, Sigurðr thrust in the sword under the left shoulder, and it sunk in up to the hilt. Then Sigurðr leapt out of the pit, wrenching back the sword, and getting his arms bloody right up to the shoulders. And when the huge dragon felt its death wound, it lashed with its tail and head, shattering everything that got in its way. And when Fáfnir received his death wound, he asked, "Who are you? Who is your father, and what is your family? You who has been bold enough to dare to bear arms against me?" "No man knows of my family," replied Sigurðr. "I'm called Noble Beast. I've neither father nor mother, and I've journeyed alone." "If you've no father nor mother," Fáfnir answered, "what strange thing gave you life? And even though you won't tell me your name on this, the day I shall die, you know that you are now lying." "My name is Sigurðr," he answered, "and my father is Sigmundr." "Who prompted you to do this deed, and why did you follow his prompting?" replied Fáfnir. "Hadn't you heard how everyone was frightened of me and my terrible armoured head? Your eyes flash, boy, and you had a gallant father." "A stout heart urged me on to do it," was Sigurd's reply, "and a strong arm and this keen word that you've now felt helped me to carry it through. And few are resolute when old, if timid in youth." "I know that you'd be an angry man in a fight," said Fáfnir, "had you grown up among your kinsmen, but it's even more amazing that a captive taken in a raid should have dared to fight against me. Few prisoners are courageous in battle." "You reproach me for being far from my kinsmen," said Sigurðr, "but even if I was a prisoner, I wasn't fettered, and you have learned that I was free." "Everything I say you take to be said in hate," answered Fáfnir, "but the gold I possessed will be your death. Everyone wants to keep hold on wealth until that day come, but everyone must die some time," replied Sigurðr. "You'll not be guided much by what I say," said Fáfnir, "but if you're careless in crossing the sea, you'll be drowned. Better wait on shore until it's calm." "Tell me then, Fáfnir," said Sigurðr, "if you are so wise, who are the Norns that deliver mothers of their sons?" "They are many, and varied," replied Fáfnir. "Some belong to the Aesir, some belong to the Elves, and some are Dvalins, daughters." "What is the name of that islet where Surtr and the Aesir will shed each other's blood?" said Sigurðr. "It is named Oskapta," said Fáfnir. Fáfnir spoke again. "My brother Regan has brought about my death, and I am glad that he will bring about your death too. That will be just what he wanted." Fáfnir spoke again. "I raised a crest of terror above all men ever since I couched on my brother's inheritance, and I breathed out poison all around me so that no one dared to come near me, and I feared no weapon, and never found so many against me that I didn't think myself by far the stronger, and they were all afraid of me." "This crest of terror you spoke of," said Sigurðr, "give victory to few. for anyone who mixes with many people may one day find that no man is the superior to all others." "I advise you to take your horse," replied Fafnir, "and ride away as quickly as you can, for it often happens that he who suffers a mortal wound avenges himself." "That is your advice," answered Sigurðr, "but I shall act differently. I shall ride to your lair and there seize the vast treasure that belonged to your kinsmen." "You'll be riding to a place where you'll find so much gold," Fafnir answered, "that it will last you all your days. But the same gold will be your death, and the death of any other man that possesses it." Sigurðr stood up. "If I knew I'd never die, I'd ride back," he said, "even though I were to forfeit all the wealth. But every valiant man desires to have wealth until that day comes. But you, Fafnir, lie in your death throes until hell takes you." And then Fafnir died.